Hello, my name is Joshua Mugabi. I welcome you to Plant Reproduction Part 2. And without wasting any of our time, let's go directly to our quiz. Elongated or tubular containers found in the anther at the top of the stamen in which pollen grains are produced. A. Micropyle. B. Seedlings. C. Pollen sac. D. Hypocotyl germination. And the answer is C. Pollen sac. A small opening found between the integuments of an ovule through which a pollen tube can gain access to the embryo sac to deliver its nuclei and effect fertilization, and through which water enters seeds to begin germination. A. Micropyle. B. Seedlings. C. Pollen sacs. D. Hypocotyl germination. And the answer is A. Micropyle. A young plant that has been grown or raised from a seed. A. Micropyle. B. Seedlings. C. Pollen sac. D. Hypocotyl germination. And the answer is B. Seedling. Cotyledons remain below ground epicotyl elongates, e.g. broad bean. A. Micropyle. B. Seedling. C. Pollen sac. D. Hypocotyl germination. And the answer is D. Hypocotyl germination. Plant that lives for many years and produces seed each year. A. Scion. B. Intine. C. Perennial. D. Non-endospermic seed. And the answer is C. Perennial. Main food store for developing embryo is in Cotyledon, e.g. broad bean. A. Scion. B. Intine. C. Perennial. D. Non-endospermic seed. And the answer is D. Non-endospermic seed. Thin inner wall of a pollen grain. A. Scion. B. Intine. C. Perennial. D. Non-endospermic seed. And the answer is B. Intine. Shoot of a plant specially cut for grafting onto stalk. A. Scion. B. Intine. C. Perennial. D. Non-endospermic seed. And the answer is A. Scion. Two nuclei found in pollen tube as it approaches the micropyle of the ovule. One will fertilize the egg and the other will join with the two pollen nuclei to form the triploid endosperm nucleus. A. Pollen nucleus. B. Reproduction. C. Ovisac. D. Male gamete nuclei. And the answer is D. Male gamete nuclei. The ability of an organism to produce new individuals of its own kind by either sexual or asexual means and pass on genetic information to the next generation. A. Pollen nucleus. B. Reproduction. C. Ovisac. D. Male gamete nuclei. And the answer is B. Reproduction. A structure in which eggs are stored. A. Pollen nucleus. B. Reproduction. C. Ovisac. D. Male gamete nuclei. And the answer is C. Ovisac. One of two nuclei in the center of the embryo sac, which when fertilized by the male gamete nucleus from the pollen grain, will develop into the triploid endosperm nucleus. A. Pollen nucleus. B. Reproduction. C. Ovisacs. D. Male gamete nuclei. And the answer is A. Pollen nucleus. These are four haploid cells produced by meiosis in the ovule of a flower. Three of these cells will degenerate, and the remaining cell nucleus divides 3 times by mitosis to produce 8 haploid nuclei. These arrange themselves as follows: 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom, and 2 pollen nuclei in the center. The one in the middle on the bottom of the egg cells. N. A. Pollinating organs. B. Pollination. C. Pollen sacs. D. Megaspores. And the answer is megaspores. The transfer of pollen from the anther of the stamen of one flower to the stigma of the carpel of the same flower or another flower on the same plant or another flower on a different plant of the same species. Wind and insects are agents. Pollinating organs. B. Pollination. C. Pollen sac. D. Megaspores. And the answer is B. pollination. Structures used by plants to store food made by the plant during the growing season and help them survive the adverse conditions of winter. For example, taproots. A. Pollinating organs. B. Pollination. C. Pollen sac. D. Megaspores. And the answer is A. Pollinating organs. Elongated or tubular containers found in the anther at the top of the stamen, in which pollen grains are produced. A. Pollinating organs. B. Pollination. C. Pollen sacs. D. Megaspores. And the answer is C. Pollen sacs. Hello friends, thank you very much for taking part in plant reproduction part 2. Please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you. I'm Joshua Mugabi. Bye bye for now.